I'd like to welcome everybody to the County of Newell Municipal Planning Commission for this July 8th, 2026, 9th, thank you. I almost wrote the 8th a few minutes ago too. Let's do some introductions because we have guests in the gallery. I'll start with myself. I'm Deputy Reeve of Council, and I'll chair the MPC meeting today. I'm Kelly Chrisman, and I am from Division 6, which is the northwest corner of the county. Neil?
My name is Neil Johnson. I'm the Division 7 Councillor, north of Brooks.
Good morning, Adina Scandrup, Division 2, the hamlet of Tilly and surrounding area.
Good morning, I'm Ben Hofer, Division 8 Duchess, Councillor.
Good morning and welcome, Greg Screever, Division 5, Lake Newell Resort and south of Brooks.
Welcome, Matt Fensky, CAO.
Good morning, Holly Johnson, Division 4, the areas of Scandia, Rainier, Bow City, Castles, and Antelope Creek.
Good morning, Dan Baumgarten, Division 1, Rolling Hills area.
Good morning, I'm Lynette Kopp. I'm Division 3, the Patricia area.
Good morning, Emma Sinclair, Planning and Development Administrative Assistant.
Good morning, Catherine Siakla, Communications Officer.
Hello, Shanna Lee, Development Officer.
I'm Jeff Tiffin, Manage the Planning Development and Engineering Department.
Hussein Mahmoud, Babylon Recycling, Director Manager.
Sam Badri from Babylon Recycling. Omar Hassan, Babylon Recycling.
Okay, thank you all. We have an agenda in front of us. We have the Reeve absent, so could I have a motion to excuse him from council, from MPC?
I'll make the motion to excuse him.
Thank you. All in favor of that motion? That is carried. Minutes are in our package. Are there any errors or questions, omissions? Otherwise, I would call for a motion. Councillor Kopp. All in favor of that motion? That is carried. Agenda. Are there any additions? Otherwise, a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Johnson?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor of the motion? That is carried. Shanna Lee, would you like to highlight anything in your very brief report? Okay. Are there any questions on the development report for June? All right, we'll accept that for information. Thank you, Shanna Lee. 7.1. Go ahead, Shanna Lee.
Thank you. Development permit 2026048 is for the operation of an auto wreckage and salvage business. Vehicles will be transported to the parcel for dismantling. Usable parts will be retained for resale, while the shell of the vehicle will be transported off-site to an approved recycling facility. The applicant expects to have a maximum of 250 vehicles on the parcel at any time, and he has submitted a site plan to show how he's going to have them organized, where emergency vehicles will be able to access the parcel. The operation is expected to generate 3 vehicle trips to and from the parcel per week. There'll be 2 accessory buildings. One of them will be used as an office, and there will be a soft shell building where the mechanical work and dismantling of vehicles will be done. There is 4 regular employees. There'll be very minimal retail business happening on the parcel. There will be a 2.4 meter chain link fence around the entire perimeter, which is what at the applicant's request, but perhaps we would want to have that as a condition, as an adjacent landowner has sent a letter asking that a fence be installed. There was no issues or concerns from administration. The parcel in question in 2013 was issued a vehicle salvage yard at that time. So previously the same parcel was used for the same use. Immediately south of the parcel was a used auto sales permit in 2006. The administration has negotiated to purchase 5 meters on the frontage of the parcel, which would increase the setback to 35 meters, and we're working with the landowners at this time. And Jeff probably will want to add a little bit more to that. We are recommending approval with the conditions and adding the condition of the fence.
Thank you, Shanley. Go ahead, Shanley.
Sorry about that. And Mr. Mahmood is here to respond to questions.
Great, thank you. Come forward. Thank you. Are there any questions of staff or of the proposed? Councillor Johnson.
Good morning. When I think of these kinds of yards, all I think is what I've seen, like rows and rows of vehicles, but you're going to dismantle them and take them off-site. So you can just explain a bit more what kind of pieces you're keeping and how you're storing them, just so I understand the business?
So regarding this exact point, so if we have a wrecked car coming to the site, so normally the car has a process, so it's end up with scrapping the car, but the process is very simple. The car is come to the shop in down there, so it's going to be drained and dismantle the engine, transmission, and mainly the powertrains. Then the shell of the body will go to the yard, will stay there because it will stay. We have a policy that the car will stay for a certain amount of time in the yard in case we need a cut or a small piece out of it. At the end of the time, this shell will not be usable or doesn't have like any more interest. So we are going to remove it from the yard itself to the scrap metal, which is there is a place here in Brooks. We are going to have an agreement with them where he process our shells. Actually, there will not be any crushing or burning or smashing in the yard because we don't do this type of business. And we are not a new business. We already have established business in Calgary. We are going to apply the same process, and we already submitted the risk assessment and waste management plan to our application. We are going to use the same here as we are doing there.
Great, thank you. Are there any further questions? I guess I have a question first, Shanley. As a condition on approval, is there a deadline for meeting conditions? I mean, say we say put a fence up. They might plan to put a fence up 6 months from now, a year from now. Do we put timelines on that sort of thing?
Generally, the conditions need to be met prior to the business happening. But we do have a development permit where it needs to be started within 12 months and it needs to be completed within 24.
Jeff.
Shanley also mentioned the pending 5-meter purchase of 0.12 acres along the frontage of the parcel. Just working with the applicants and going to exchange some paperwork and get that wrapped up and taken care of. We'd like the liberty from the administrative level to work with the applicant on the front fence, so they're not installing a fence and then when we come back to improve the roads, we're moving it back 5 meters. So I think a little liberty for administration to work with the applicant on that condition would be appreciated.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions? Councillor Screever.
Hi. When we have a new business that comes to the county, I like to know what brought you here, and you have a business in Calgary right now. What brought you to our area?
Okay, so actually we have many reasons why we come to Brooks. The first of all, actually we need to expand in our business. I can come a little bit behind this little bit because we are sell used auto parts, so we buy cars from the auction. Like mainly 90% of our supply coming from Saskatchewan. So Brooks will give us advantage. We can reduce the shipping cost, and also it will be as like a processing place where we can reduce the cost and also reduce our operation cost. And another point is we need more space. We can get this in Calgary. it will be more expensive. And the other point is we can give an opportunity for local community to start to grow like jobs and stuff like that. But the mainly, and also we are not the first in the city. Already 3 or 4 auto wreckers in the city, and they already have a brother business or sister business in Calgary. So we are not making a new model. We just copy other people model, and it work with them. It should work with us. Yep. Yeah.
All very good reasons, and the biggest reason is that you're opening in the county of Newell, and we appreciate that.
I appreciate that.
So. MPC, how do you wish to handle this application? Councillor Johnson.
I just need a little bit of clarification on the fence. So the suggestion to council is that the majority of the fence is constructed prior to the business beginning, but that the front fence be delayed until the road agreement is worked out. Is that the request to council?
Yes, we're requesting that as a condition of development that MPC add the condition that the 3 sides of the fence be constructed as a condition of the development permit, with the 4th to follow in conjunction with the road improvement project.
Councillor Johnson.
I would then move option 1 with the addition of what Jeff just said.
Shanley.
Thank you. For item E on the conditions, could we just add to the front of the county road 30 meters? Can we add from revised property line there with the motion, please?
I'm sure that makes more clarity for everybody. You bet. It's exactly what Councillor Johnson was alluding to. Great. Any other questions on the motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Gentlemen,
thank you.
Get to work. Welcome to the County of Newell.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, we have nothing under other business. We had no post-agenda items. Is there a reason for in-camera today? Seeing none. Are there any questions in the queue? None. Thank you, Catherine. I will adjourn the MPC meeting. Meeting. Oh, yes, new meeting. That's right. I'd like to go ahead and call the County of Newell regular meeting of July the 9th, 2026 to order. Excused from the meeting. I believe we need to make a motion here. Councillor Scandra moves to excuse Reeve Dirksen from the meeting today. All in favor of that motion? That is carried. Adoption of the minutes or discussion on the minutes? Councillor Baumgarten.
Just have a quick addition to the minutes.
Okay.
Under 10.2 for the Rolling Hills camera installation, we need to add arena is monitored as well. Along with the post office and hall that was mentioned, the arena is also covered by the cameras.
All right, we'll make that addition. Good information. Would you like to adopt the minutes as amended?
Yes, I'll make that motion to adopt the amended minutes.
All in favor of that motion? That is carried. Are there any post-agenda items? Seeing nothing, a motion to adopt the agenda then, please. Councillor Johnson moves to adopt the agenda as presented. All in favor of that motion? That is carried. Any questions or notices of motion by council? Nothing from online visitors? Okay, we'll move along to bylaw. 7.1 on our agenda. Good morning, Mr. Harbeck.
Good morning, Deputy Reeve and Council. Present here today, Officer Burgess is out on patrol and also working a bike training session with youth and stuff today, so here I am. Bylaw officer bylaw, this has been in place, so an update to it, reviewed by Brownlee LLP. Some changes that they flagged to bring alignment to the actual Municipal Government Act and who can appoint the bylaw officers is what you will see is being reflected in the update. Other than that, no significant changes. Just there's a lot of those little changes, but that's really what it's limited to. So if there's any questions, I'll do my best to answer them, but looking for council to adopt the bylaw as presented with readings.
Thank you, Mark. Councillor Johnson.
Just a curiosity question. I noted that the draft had it going to council for appeals, and that was then changed to the CAO. Was that in line with the MGA that that correction was made?
Correct. That was part of Brownlee LLP's recommendations on that, is things don't automatically jump to the level above. It's through the CAO first.
Any other questions? How do you wish to handle the RFD? Councillor Kopp.
I'd make a motion for first reading on this bylaw.
Thank you. All in favor of that motion? That is carried. And similarly, 7.1.2, Councillor Scandra.
I make a motion for second reading.
Thank you. All in favor of that motion? That is carried then. 7.1.3. Councillor Screever.
I'll make the motion for consent of third reading.
Thank you. All in favor of that motion? That is carried. And finally, 7.1.4. Councillor Baumgarten. All in favor? Go ahead.
No, I'll just make the motion for third reading.
Thank you. All in favor of that motion? That is carried. Thank you, Mark. And then we're going to skip down to the end of the agenda, near the end. Item 10, I believe it is. And if you would like to walk us through your report.
Yeah, well, first I'll start with Planning and Development report. Planning and Development Supervisor Maria Jackson is on an approved absence right now, so if there are any questions about the report, I'll do my best, or we can call the Manager of Planning, Development, and Engineering Services in to do that, but I anticipate there will be none because it's a statistical update for yourselves. No questions?
To throw at Mr. Harvick? Nothing? Okay. Can we get a motion to accept the report as presented? Councillor Johnson, all in favor of that motion? That is carried. If you have any questions for Maria, I'm sure we can send them to Matt, and he will forward them on to Maria to get our answers. Okay? Thank you. Carry on, Mark.
Okay, Director of Municipal Services report for June. I just want to highlight the primary focuses from the Alberta Traffic Safety Calendar: commercial vehicle safety, cycling, construction zones, off-highway vehicles, and fatigue. Reason why I'm highlighting this to you today is there has been some social media pushed out there about construction zones and some of the statistics that we have found on the Highway 873 Township Road 19-2 North, improvements that we're looking to bring to the public. That is the addition of an eastbound right turning lane, a secondary southbound lane on Highway 873, working in and around the Omega Trucking site. With that, observed were some speeding infractions highlighted in this report. We're identifying that over 3 days, consisting of a total of 7 hours of enforcement activities, 20 warnings and 65 tickets were issued to motorists. That's pretty high for a 7-hour period. Thankfully, we were able to do a joint operation with the City of Brooks peace officers to assist us in that, so thank you to them for their collaboration. You can see that 23 of those tickets alone were issued for speeding, with the highest speed recorded at 98 kilometers per hour in the 50 kilometer an hour construction zone. I will add that officers were back again on July 3rd for a total of 4 hours. 36 speeding tickets were issued again. 93 kilometers an hour in the 50 zone was the highest recorded speed. 12 warnings were issued for documentation, so if you're failing to have insurance or just expired insurance, producing other papers necessary is asked by an officer. Those are the key things, but the most important one in my mind is we have had motorists entering the do not enter westbound lane because the eastbound is under closure on Township Road 19-2 North to get you to Highway 873 if you were coming from JBS or east or west of Highway 873 intersection. One motorist, while officers were present, entered that oncoming lane going the wrong way. We had literally just instructed the contractor to install do not enter along with the do not enter language underneath of those standard signs. Witnessed them driving eastbound, somewhat panicked, drove into the occupied construction site where workers are present operating machines and equipment. This is all video recorded from the patrol vehicle. Excessively speeding down the area that is under construction with men and equipment present, and came to a stop about 10 feet short of a packer operator after hammering on the brakes. Dust was being thrown up behind the vehicle, so they weren't doing 50 or less. I think there was a little anxiety or something not going on in the mind right, that they knew they were in the wrong spot, but they reacted completely in the wrong manner. So that was dealt with. Workers on site is the reason why we're present. We value those people trying to improve roads for our motorists, and we also value the lives of those people doing it so they can return home safely to their families. I can say that there are some social media posts out there that are contrary to what I just spoke of, but that is why our officers are being present, and we firmly believe in that. And we have received a lot of positive feedback from motorists that have been stopped in the zone for infractions. We've also received feedback from the workers expressing their thanks for being present. So our officers are out there doing their best trying to work with the motorists. Education is key, which is why social media posts have also been put out there. It just seems that our motoring public is struggling to grasp construction zones and slowing down. So that's a key highlight in that, and I hope that that soon resonates and shows in motorist behavior that there are adjustments made while workers are present, and even if workers are not present, there is a reason why zones are limited in their speed until increased to their normal capacity. So bike patrols have continued. They've completed 10 bike patrols out of 20 that they had planned for the year. Also participating in the bike rodeos and things like that yet, so those things are all going well. Fleet services, we've received the 2 new trucks to get equipped. They're going to have a hydraulic arm on them with interchangeable decks to make them more multi-purpose. So it's not just a truck with a flat deck, it's a truck with a flat deck, it's a truck with a deck that has the message board mounted on it, it's a deck with whatever we can conceive as what's needed in operations, and just make it interchangeable so it's not a one performing fleet. Addition to that, the new gravel plow truck was received, and so they're hoping to have that in service here in early to mid-July. Grader operators, well, we've had our struggles this spring with rain. Rain, go away, but we've got lots of flowers out there, grass is growing, agriculture is doing well. Those are million-dollar rains for some sectors, and they're the bane of my existence dealing with roads as my operators try to contend with them. We have received several customer service requests. We are dealing with them as we best can. The goal after a rain is to restore the driving surface to a safe standard. It may not be to the same standard as maintaining the road in full, because we want to get across them as quickly as we can so that everybody is safe, and then get back into our normal grading routine. So working extended hours, working on Saturdays. The team has been with that. Some of the customer service requests received are not just something that is normal operating and maintenance. It is something that we will have to get into our ridge pulling program. We will put things off that we had planned this year to try to tend to those to help those roads. There are other things where maybe a shoulder pull or something needs to be done. We will consider those in our construction programming when we present to you at the Committee of the Whole for future direction. Best thing is our manager and supervisor have been out on the roads. We've been evaluating, we're documenting, we're comparing to customer service requests to what their observations are, and coming up with a plan with everybody to try to get things improved as timely as we possibly can. Just want council to understand, some of it is not going to happen overnight. What we can do, we will do as timely as we can. Others, maybe we will be here looking for additional expenses or whatever to be able to tend to stuff. But it's a matter of, do we have the time to actually be able to do all of it versus what is planned? Because some of it requires utility coordination and things like that as well. It's not just under our ability to take care of. So we're going to do our best with that. But working extended hours to get things back to where they need to be. Dust abatement program, even with all the rain, the crews did an absolute amazing job. They got it all done earlier than expected. We were done on the Friday before July 1st, so great job by them, and everything that I've driven over top of, even with the rains, appears to be in excellent condition and performing very well. Maintenance operators, sign maintenance, and they also participated in dust abatement, and of course we have our seasonal laborers here, so they assist in that programming of dust abatement, and then move out and help with signs and other maintenance activities of other team members that are full-time. Engineering still working on the Gem Pallet Pit access road. JBS Township Road 19.2 already spoke of. Range Road 14.3 shoulder pull is complete. Some minor work outstanding with just some cleanup and whatnot. They're moving on to Township Road 19.4. 2026 gravel road shoulder program roads will start after that. So the roads they've been dealing with were the carry forward from last year. They'll get onto this year's program yet. Line painting looks great. It's all out there. It's probably one of the earliest we've had line painting complete, including the crack sealing that was completed at last reporting period. We'll remind council and just highlight that we do have permanent pavement markings out there, the stop bars, the stop ahead language that goes on the pavement, things like that. They'll be getting to that here in the coming month. Those permanent markings are about 5 to 7 year life expectancy, whether they're thermoplastic or inlaid kind of thing, and that is how they have performed from the day that we did it originally. We often put those on speed curves and stuff where motorists will often wear off the line paint before you see its true potential, so we want to have that kept in place. Electrical upgrades at Lake Noah Resort Lift Station, tender was awarded. They're just waiting on supplies before they kick that off. And also working on all of the paved roads that were approved as part of budget, including the CDC access road and parking lot. So lots going on the engineering side of things. I also want to highlight to council Texas gate agreements. Texas gates we talked about last term of council. We're still working on that. Final letters went out to a lot of people, and people have stepped forward. They're identifying that it's either theirs or industry or whatever. So there are still several agreements that need to be signed up, but there are some being identified for removal, and we will undertake that work in our operations and get them removed where they are no longer warranted, as nobody wants to sign up to take responsibility for them. So that's, we've got 6 to remove. There's approximately 151 outstanding without agreements. So that's what engineering team is working on. And I don't really want to venture a guess because I didn't have clarity on the spreadsheet before coming to the meeting, but we're well over 250 Texas gates throughout Newell. So there's lots to go through, but this has been a multi-year project to try to get through, and we're getting there. And the last highlight is just from the municipal load report. You can see that we're about 30% below last year's statistics, but we're also well below the 3 and 5 year averages as well, saying overweight, overdimensional loads are not as frequent as in the past moving through our region. That does not say that industry is not trucking oil or anything like that. Those are permitted loads, just saying that construction activity, house moves, things like that are well below our averages and in comparison to the previous year. So if there are any questions, I will gladly do my best to answer them.
Thanks, Mark. Councillor Johnson?
Yeah, you mentioned CDC road and parking lot. Just ballpark, what's that going to cost us?
I don't have that one off the top of my head, but we can get that information to you.
That would be really good information.
What are you planning there? Is it a patch or an overlay?
That's been asked through Ag Services to my engineering department, and I'm not 100% clear, but we threw it in here. But it's just touching up the asphalt and getting it cleaned up from where its current state is, because the end of life is well beyond, as you found with most of the state of the buildings. So.
Thank you. Councillor Johnson?
Questions about the 873. First of all, up north, well, it's north. Is the east, there is no eastbound lane at that corner right now, or I haven't looked at it?
Correct. You're being routed through the Fleury Boswell subdivision. So there are barricades at the west access to the Fleury Boswell subdivision. They are the typical barricades that you come across. Brooks Asphalt and Aggregate had them set up here on Young Road for a week or so when they were doing that overlay project. Flashing beacons. We went and added do not enter signs because it's not the first motorist that has entered into the westbound lane going eastbound to try to get to the 873. This has been advertised in the newspaper, on our social media. The closure's been in place for a couple of weeks now.
And a follow-up to that, what kind of ticketing does somebody get who has done what that particular driver did? It's obviously not just speed.
I have not followed up, but probably careless driving, maybe distracted driving, who knows. There are several tickets that can come along with that one, but officer discretion to find out why and what could be improved, and that's why we made the improvements to the signage just before that incident happened. Clearly there's still some misunderstanding on what signs mean, and that's a challenge that we just have to work with.
Yeah, safety first, and motorists, we all have to comply with the rules of the road. Any other questions? Councillor Johnson?
On the other end of the 873, have we figured out why nothing is happening? We thought there'd be some work on that road this summer. Have we got an answer from anyone?
We did get an update from Regional Director Darren Davidson earlier in the spring that it wasn't included in the budget.
Thank you, Matt. Any other questions for Mark? Seeing none? Oh, go ahead.
It's not a question. I was just going to make the motion to approve his report.
Thank you. Any further questions? Call the question. All in favor of the motion? That is carried. Thank you, Mark. Have a good day. Now, let's go back in our agenda. To item 9, thank you. Just checking the time. 9.1, policy review. Ariana, please.
Thank you. So yeah, this set of 6 policies, they're all privacy related. None of them are new, so they're just updates to existing policies to bring us in alignment with the legislative requirements for privacy management program updates and such. So I will just start going through them, I guess. So the first one is the main one. It used to be just access to information, so we've added privacy to increase the scope of that. So obviously legislative references have been updated from FOIP to the Access to Information and Protection and Privacy. It references the Privacy Management Program, which we're required to establish and maintain. So the document that's included in the agenda package, that is the Privacy Management Program that we'll be making available to the public via our website. You'll notice at the end the sections 13 and 14. 13 is the version updates where we document updates, and 14 is the table of legal obligations. So that'll be updated as we get policies adopted and procedures established. But other than that, that's the Privacy Management Program. The other major updates in this policy are 10 formal principles, including collection limitation, accuracy, and accountability, that dictate personal information must only be collected when authorized by law and only collect what is necessary for delivering our services. Legislative requirements include the maintenance of a directory of personal information banks. This is also currently in development and will be posted to the county website. That's got to be public, so if people need to make a correction request for their personal information, they know where we're holding it, and we know where we're holding it so we can make the corrections. There's a list of sanctions for violation of this policy that follow the personnel policy. And we updated the access to information section. The most significant addition would be the ability for users to request tax certificates through virtual county hall. And that's that policy.
Are there questions for Ariana on this largely administrative policy? Otherwise, a motion to adopt. Councillor Johnson.
I want to move option 1 as well as to say thanks, Ariana, because that was a lot, I'm sure, of sorting through a whole lot of government legalities to come up with that. So I appreciate the work you put into it.
Thank you. Disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer.
Call the question. All in favor of that motion? That is carried.
All right, policy 3426, privacy web applications. This one was previously titled just privacy, but it is specific to like web applications and mobile apps where we're collecting information. So that is the first major change. We changed the title to make it more relevant. Again, legislative references have been updated. Mandatory privacy incident notification has been added. So in the event of a privacy incident, we have to go through an exercise identifying real risk of significant harm, and we're We're now legally required to notify affected individuals, as well as the Office of the Information and Privacy Commissioner in certain cases without unreasonable delay. So that's just documented in the policy. Currently, we don't currently use AI for processing personal information, but there is a mandatory requirement for us to complete privacy impact assessments and public notification should we change this practice. So it's mostly if we collect someone's personal information and then run it through AI to make a decision about that person and use that personal information. So not currently doing that now, so we're safe. But we are required to let people know if we do change that in the future. And then the privacy impact assessment itself, that's if we have a new program or a significant change to existing program. It's a really good exercise, actually. It's a long document, but it gets you thinking about why you're collecting information, what the information flow is, like where the information goes from step to step, and what you're doing to protect it. So it's really worthwhile. It's arduous, but I think it's going to be fun, but there's probably something wrong with me also. And then the last major change, define privacy rights and oversight. So the policy, we've included the right to access records under access to information and the right to request corrections to your personal information under the Protection of Privacy Act. And it's got a brief process for users to request the review by the OIPC if they're unsatisfied with the county's handling of their personal information. So yeah, again, if there's any questions.
And are there any questions? Councillor Kopp.
If there was a breach, it says you need to be notified. How is the notification taken care of? Is that a blanket email, or how does that happen?
Depending on the extent, like if it was one or two people's information, you would send them a letter or an email in writing. The real risk is significant harm. It identifies like how many people are involved, what potential damages are for the information. Like there's a decision tree of that. Like if obviously your name and mailing address is less damaging than if I post your bank account and credit card number online, like for like thousands of people. So yeah, you determine that, and then go from there. And then the procedure for the breach notification is in progress. So it's levels of harm versus response. And then in some cases, the most secure ones, you have to report it to the OIPC, as well as I think it's the Minister of Technology and Innovation that's responsible for access and privacy now.
Aren't we glad Ariana does this? Councillor Kopp and then Matt.
Oh, I was just ready to make the motion and thank her again for all of this.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah, it's a question of when, not if, you're going to have a breach, unfortunately. And when you have a breach, you have legal responsibilities to discharge, and these exercises are not cheap, that Ariana refers to. So shortly after taking the CAO seat, we had a breach of our email server, and that was like a $60,000 bill to the county going through that exercise. So this is important stuff to get right. It's a really important program that Ariana has worked on, and really appreciate the effort there, because the more we lock things down, the less likely we are to have these exercises to go through. My bias is to get rid of personal information as quickly as we can. Once we've used it to serve the purpose, we need to get rid of it. From time to time, just for council's information, we get requests from ratepayers for the county to set up an automatic debit program for reaching into their bank account and, settling their utilities and taxes. I will never recommend that to you, just based on the fact that I do not want the county hanging on to folks' banking information. That's not a risk I think we want to open ourselves up to. So if anybody's asking you for that, you've got privacy concerns, and we don't want to be responsible for letting their banking information out into the world when a smart hacker gets through firewalls. And I will give credit to our IT department, who is hyper-focused on cybersecurity. We've got lots of layers of security, but that doesn't mean there are not smart people out there. So the privacy stuff, while it can be kind of a yawn exercise, it's really important for us to focus and get it right.
Thank you for that, Matt. Do I have a motion? We do have a motion. All in favor of the motion? That is carried. Thank you. 9.3.
All right, this is policy number 8, electronic recording of county meetings. So this one, fewer updates, because it was a fairly recent policy. Legislative reference updates. Notice of collection, this is important. So we've got signage and announcements now constitute a formal notice of collection, including purpose, legal authority, and contact information for the privacy officer. So yeah, anytime you're collecting personal information, you have to let them know what you're collecting it for, the legal authority for why you're collecting it, and then if you're going to run it through AI, which we aren't doing yet, and then the contact information for who you ask questions about, which is usually me. So in order to do that for people coming into a council meeting, we've added the notice of collection to the meeting sign that's posted on the front door, and as well as been added to the sign-in sheet for people coming into council. The in-camera definitions have been aligned with the Municipal Government Act, specific access to information, the exception to disclosure, and privacy protections. And then online disclosure, online hosting of the meeting is a disclosure consistent with the Municipal Government Act and Section 13 of the Protection of Privacy Act. And those are the changes to that one.
Any questions on that policy? A motion to accept then? Councillor Johnson first.
I'll make that motion and parrot what everybody else has been saying about Ariana. Thank you very much.
And let us know if we step out of line. All in favor of Councillor Johnson's motion? That is carried. (9.3.1) is our motion. Just made it. 9.4, Ariana.
All right, I'm gonna cry soon if you keep thanking me. All right, so this one is the minibus service policy. It had some privacy concerns, but we also took the opportunity to make some other changes to make about the actual minibus service. So Shannon's here to answer questions specific to that. So the key changes to this one, service expansion. They now formally includes the delivery of Meals on Wheels to residents along the assigned routes. And then you can book your ride with text messages, which will be handled the same as phone calls. The privacy part of this one, so under the regulation, data regarding the mobility needs and disabilities of riders is classified as high sensitivity. So it needs more protection, obviously. So this policy has included more administrative, physical, and technical safeguards to protect this information. And the information will be limited to just the minibus staff who require it to provide the service. So because they're sensitive information, we do need to complete a privacy impact assessment for this one and submit it to the Privacy Commissioner and establish the mandatory breach notification protocol. So that will be an action item following this meeting, and we'll get that completed. That's all the changes to this one.
Any questions on that one? Councillor Johnson?
If you look under booking appointments, the last line is what has been added in regards to Meals on Wheels. So just that fee for the rider fee is picked up by FCSS, not the person getting the meals, because we wanted to keep them affordable. To this point, there's been very little usage of the Meals on Wheels delivery. We'd like to see more. But I'm wondering if we need to add something in there that, what did I write down? If there are multiple residents receiving meals in the same community, only one rider fee will be charged, just to keep it, that's all that should be needed, I think, if that's an acceptable change, so that we're not doubling up on fees when we're just carrying out food.
Shannon, did you want to speak to that, or question from Councillor Johnson?
I think that's reasonable. We'll have to, I think that'll be under the schedule fees. I don't know if that'll be in this policy, but we'll include that. And yeah, we don't have a ton of usage right now, but yeah, that's a good thing to consider. So thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on the policy? Motion to accept as amended. Councillor Scandrup. Any other questions? Seeing no hands, all in favor of the motion? That is carried. Thanks for coming in, Shannon, as she's on her way out the door. Responding to service requests, 9.5.
All right. This one, the changes are, we've included the definition of personal information that references the Protection of Privacy Act section that lists all the types of personal information, so like your name, your address, your fingerprint, other stuff, instead of listing it all out in the policy, just in case they find something else to add. Collection notice, the paragraph has been added regarding the requirement for a collection notice where personal information is collected directly from an individual submitting a service request. So I wrote a note here because we had some discussion about enforcement who can collect personal information not directly from the individual. But I think the policy is still okay because it specifies where we're collecting it directly. Further details provided regarding the components of the collection notice as well as use and disclosure. So they're just the standard, what we're collecting it for, why we're allowed to collect it, and who to contact in the event of questions. A statement was, this isn't specifically about privacy, but a statement was added about anonymous requests not being investigated and expanded on. The section, there's a statement that explicitly says that we don't investigate anonymous requests, and then a little expansion on the section regarding protecting the identity of the individual submitting nuisance or unsightly property service requests, and a section on more responsibilities for the frontline staff who are accepting the requests. So we need to tell people of our formal follow-up response practices. We'll explain the protocols for how we're collecting, using, and disclosing their personal information, and directing them to the policies on formal escalation procedures. Sorry.
That's it. All right. Thank you. Are there questions on this policy? Responding to service requests. No questions. A motion to accept. Councillor Johnson. All in favor of that motion? That is carried. And we have one more policy. We have a few minutes. If you would like to carry on, Ariana, that would be wonderful.
I'll give it a shot. So this is our public participation and communications policy. It's another fairly recent one. So again, the only changes to this one were the legislative reference updates, the collection notice where we have to provide the notice at the time of collection on all our digital tools, and on the website, and it's got some responsibilities assigned to department heads to monitor the notice compliance, so just making sure that any forms collecting information that are coming out of their departments have an appropriate collection notice on them, and reporting any suspected breaches directly to me in a reasonable time frame so we can stop the bleeding, I guess, and for lack of a better word. That's that was horrible. So that's a summary of those ones. Thank you.
Sounds like the work that you do, though, right? Are there any questions on this policy? No? How about a motion to accept? Councillor Baumgarten. All in favor of that motion? That is carried then. Thank you again so much, Ariana, and please let us all know if we step out of line. Much appreciate you looking after the whole county in this regard. All right, we're right on schedule, 11 a.m. for our delegations. 5, you would like to go again? Okay. Okay, we will take 3 minutes. How's that sound? Great. And Reconvene this council meeting, and we have delegation in front of us. Let's do a round of introductions, starting with Councillor Johnson.
Welcome to the County of Newell. I'm Neil Johnson, Division 7 Councillor.
Good morning, Adina Scandrip, Division 2, the Hamlet of Tilly and surrounding area.
Welcome, Ben Hofer, Duchess, Division 8.
Good morning and welcome. Greg Screever, Division 5, Lake Newell Resort and south of Brooks.
And I'm Kelly Chrisman. I'm Deputy Reeve, and I'll chair this meeting in our Reeve's absence. And I'm from the northwest side of the county.
Welcome, Matt Finsky, CAO.
Good morning, Holly Johnson, Division 4, the areas surrounding Castles, Bow City, Rainier, Scandia, and Antelope Creek.
Hi there, it's Dan Baumgarten from Division 1, Rolling Hills.
Good morning, I'm Lynette Kopp. I'm Division 3, the Patricia area.
Good morning, Ariana Nielsen, Executive Assistant.
Good morning, Catherine Siaklik, Communications Officer.
If you just click on your microphone, then our folks in cyberspace can hear your voice as well.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for meeting with us, and thank you to Ariana for arranging this. I'm Gary Lentz. I'm president of the Southeastern Alberta Rural Crime Watch Association. Previously, I was mechanic by trade. I had a small garage and the bus lines out at Irvine. And in 1984, I sold it and went farming. And a few years later, I joined the Alberta Farm Implement Board, and I was chairman there for 12 years. And then I got on county council. I was a Cypress County councillor for 16 years, and eventually I didn't get reelected, so that gave me some time. I guess you all know how that process goes. I had a young guy convinced enough people it was time for a change, and he's now the counselor for our area. And so it gave me some time to devote to the Rural Crime Watch organization. I had sold my businesses and went farming in 1984, and have time to contribute to a strictly volunteer position with the Rural Crime Watch. I've been a member since about 1984, 85, and I've been a director for pretty much ever since then as well, and chairman now for about 3 years, I guess. So that's kind of my background, and we just would like to give you information on what Rural Crime Watch is all about and what we do. And so I'll turn it over to Shannon now.
I'm Shannon Pakula. I've been involved with Crime Watch as a board member since 2007, and prior to that I was a member for about 10 years. Our group, we've got a little slide presentation here for you. Who we are, we act as the eyes and ears of Southeastern Alberta for the RCMP, because they're not able to be everywhere. It's a huge area, and a lot of it doesn't usually see a regular patrol. So we partner with Brooks, Bizano, Bow Island, and Redcliffe detachments. Our members don't patrol, they just go about their daily lives, and if they see something suspicious or something that's a little bit hinky, throws off the alarm bells, they phone it in. We're a member of the Provincial Crime Watch. This is a little video that the provincial group put together.
Everybody knows somebody that's been affected by crime, whether it be family members or themselves. and they feel powerless and don't know where to turn. Something that they can do is look into their local rural crime watch and get involved.
The criminal element has moved out of the city and out of the suburbs and is now moving through the rural areas. As these criminal elements move into the rural area, they're moving there specifically because they know they're going to find soft targets. They're going to find vehicles that are left with the keys in the ignition, or in the visor, or in the cup holder. They're going to know that there's a firearm somewhere on the property. The good-natured folk of the country, having not locked anything for years, are now becoming victims of this crime type and these roving criminals that are moving through the rural area.
We had some people break into our trailer over the summer in the middle of the night, and they basically ransacked our trailer and took what they wanted. My husband was heading to work and he noticed the trailer door. He said, "Did you go in the trailer last night?" And I said, "Nope, I didn't." So then he came in and looked around, and all the cupboards were open, the bed was lifted, and there was stuff just thrown all about. And as a general rule, our property is locked up tight. Our shop, our house, our vehicles. We are very, very careful of that. And we just figured there's nothing of value in our trailer, so we were leaving it open, and we were going in and out quite frequently, emptying it for the year, and they actually just walked right in and took what they wanted and left. The stuff that they took from us was minor. That type of stuff is easily replaceable, but what they left us with was a feeling of, we feel like we're violated, and it's a feeling you shouldn't have to deal with. Your home is supposed to be your safe place.
Rural Crime Watch is a key partnership that the RCMP has, and it's one of the citizen-led groups that we work very closely with. It's important to policing overall because it gives us insight into a community and lets us know the things that are out of place for that community. And that information is important to the police in understanding where suspicious activity is occurring, the times that it's occurring within, so that helps us be effective with the resources that we have.
We live in a large province. We have lots of back roads. We have lots of secondary highways. The Rural Crime Watches, work with local police service to give notification of suspicious things, abandoned cars, gates that are open, anomalies, because the community members in the rural areas know their community. They know who should be in it. They know who shouldn't be, because they live in those places, and of course they want the best for their community.
Over the decades, Rural Crime Watch has proven its worth. It's not just the cattle rustlers and the people that are stealing grain and damaging crops. It's more sophisticated crime out there now. Those roving crime groups are now coming through the community and stealing anything that isn't nailed or bolted down. The Rural Crime Watch program is definitely an observe and report type of program. But the key piece of reporting is to ensure that it is reported and that the fact that it's reported timely. Our dispatch centers are open 24 hours a day. If there's something going on, even in the wee hours of the morning, that should be reported to the police at the time it's occurring. That small bit of information and the time and place in which it's occurring could very well be the key piece of evidence that we need in which to bring a long string of criminal offenses to a successful conclusion.
I think rural Alberta could get back to where it was, that the sense of community and people looking out for each other and helping each other out. Like, it's going to take everybody to come together, not just the RCMP or the Rural Crime Watch. It could be the bus driver, your county grader, the oil and gas industry. Everybody can have a hand in it, and working together can achieve a safer community.
Okay, so what do? We promote rural crime prevention. We have meetings the public is able to attend. Our members are invited, like it's a community meeting. We provide news and educational information. We share information regarding crime prevention techniques, like septed, things like that. So we send out alerts. We have a fan out system. So if the RCMP sends us something of interest, we send it out on our fan out. We also do a Facebook page that we put that information on as well for people that are more technically savvy. When did we form? Our group formed in the late 1970s and we incorporated in 1980. Rural crime watches across Alberta were partnerships with the RCMP only to start with. They were called Range Patrol, and then the group kind of switched into what we are now as a Rural Crime Watch. We're now involved with RCMP, Farmers Advocate, Cattle Producers Associations, Alberta Government Fish and Wildlife, and the Report-a-Poacher program. Our group operates in what we call 3 zones: Cypress County, 40 Mile County, and Newell. The detachments we work with, Redcliffe, Bow Island, Brooks, and Bizano. And we have over 600 member households. So our members are probably closer to about 1,500, but the households they're associated to and the businesses, there's about 600. So we started because crime in rural areas can be challenging for law enforcement. We provide them support by being the eyes and ears, and engaged residents can help reduce crime and make communities safer. If everybody cares, it makes a difference. Each zone has 5 elected directors. When we took Brooks on, the directors that had been in place remained in place. Some have stepped down. We have a couple positions open. If anybody is interested in joining us, we would welcome them. Of the 15 directors, board is chosen to fill the president's role, the vice president, and the secretary-treasurer. And as events and things occur, we have committees that will look after each instance. Who can join? Anybody that lives within the 3 zones. Obviously, you must not have a criminal record, and you should be interested in building safer communities. Membership gives you access to a network of information, tools, and resources. The provincial group has an app that has a bunch of tips and stuff on it that you can use on your phone. It's really handy. Our members can purchase Rural Crime Watch signs for their property. This includes no trespassing signs, fence post signs, and member of Rural Crime Watch signs that you can display in your yard. You would be part of the eyes and ears, and you can help reduce crime in your area, and by reducing crime, increase safety. Where and when to join? Any public Crime Watch meeting. Our membership forms are available on our website, and you can also contact us through our Facebook page. And how can we all help prevent crime? Be active and involved in your local crime watch. Work with your neighbors and local law enforcement. When you work with your neighbors, like, keep an active communication with them. Like, lots of groups or lots of areas will use a WhatsApp group. Like, you'll have all your neighbors on a little text chain or whatever they're called, and if somebody sees something weird, then they'll be like, hey, so-and-so black truck, seen it driving past a few times, don't know who it is, whatever. Like, or if you're not gonna be around, maybe let your neighbors know so that they know that if there's something happening around your yard, that it's probably not supposed to be happening. Those work quite effectively. And report suspicious activities in a timely kind of fashion, and 911 for emergencies. And then the RCMP has their RAVE number that you can use province-wide if you don't know the direct line for your detachment. That will get you through to their call center. And crime prevention tips: get to know your neighbors, look out for each other, lock your vehicles, RVs, sheds, and homes, and use effective lighting and remove landscaping that prevents a good visual of your property. And that was last year, apparently. Now it's Gary's turn.
Okay, thank you. I might add that we've had, over the last few years, we've had members of our organization that have spotted suspicious vehicles around their area and phoned it in. And as a result, there's numerous criminals have been apprehended by the RCMP. And they're quite happy that we do phone in things like this. It gives them a heads up, and they can check it out. And if it's nothing, it's no problem. But quite often, we've helped just by being there and observing and notifying the RCMP. We've been able to apprehend numerous criminals. So another thing we'd like to talk to you about, of course, membership. If any of you are not members and would like to join, you're quite welcome to join. Or if you know of any neighbors or friends that would be interested in joining, we'd be quite happy to have them join. And now any of our membership is $25 one time. It's permanent membership, and it qualifies you to get the various signs that Shannon mentioned. And you can either opt in or opt out of being on the phone fan out system. And I find that quite helpful. There's been times when I'll get an email, I'll get a text message, and I'll get a message on my home phone, all within a minute or so, of something that's happening in the community, asking us to watch out for a certain vehicle or something that is going on, happening. And it's very informative. Also, each of the detachments sends out once a month a brief summary of the number of calls they've had, the nature of calls they've had, and that sort of thing. So it's informative to know what's happening as far as the policing is going on. So something else I'd like to talk about is our sign program. We have numerous signs up in Cypress County, in County of 40 Mile, and I believe there were numerous signs put up in County of Newell. And we don't have a list. We don't know where any of those signs are. And we suspect that a lot of them are going to need to be replaced. So we typically fund the purchase of those signs. Cypress County and County of 40 Mile have had their crews install the signs on all the county roads, county property, but we, unfortunately, when we're dealing with numbered highways, we have to hire Volker Steven to put up the signs on their property that they're responsible for. Now, Cypress County has paid Volker Steven and to put up the signs out on the numbered highways. County 40 Mile has paid Volker Steven for the signs out on their numbered highways, and they've put up their own signs on their own county roads. Locations was provided by Mr. Terry Schroeder, Newell County, that needs signs replaced. There'd be four 4-foot by 4-foot signs and two 30-inch by 30-inch signs. Additional signage could be purchased and installed along county roads and hamlets, pending discussion with the county and our Rural Crime Watch. So I guess your public works people would be the ones that would be noting where there should be additional signs or if there are any signs that should be replaced. So I guess what we're asking is today, I guess every delegation comes with some type of request to council. So what we're requesting is if County of Newell would provide us with information where you would, what signs you'd like replaced, any additional signs you would like, and also we're requesting if your public works crews could install the signs within the county right-of-ways, and if there's a sign or two out on the main highways, if you would pay Volker Steven for installing those signs. So I guess basically that's what we'd be asking for.
Well, thank you. I want to start off by saying your presentations have by far the best photos I've ever seen. They're amazing. I had trouble listening and looking at photos at the same time. It was awesome. And thank you for the work that you do to keep our communities safe. I'm wondering if you would share the 3 board members that you have for our zone on your board at this time. Just put your mic on, please, Shannon.
Sorry. The previous president of the Brooks area was Peter New. He is a director. Margaret Winchester is a director. Her father, Earl, is a director. And Dave Boudet, I believe is how you pronounce his name. They're directors.
Okay, well, we thank them for the work that they're doing as well. Are there questions for our delegation on this topic? Councillor Johnson?
I'm just curious about the location of the signs. They all seem to be on the northern half of the county, and I'm wondering if there was not an active, the south part of the county was not as active, would you know?
So back in the day, it used to be just localized, right? And now we've joined the larger group. Has it been about 5 years, Gary?
It was in 23, I believe.
Oh, it's that recent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's
I was thinking it was pre, but.
I believe the Brooks group was very active many years ago, and then as time goes by, they lost not lost members, but as attrition, people age and whatever. So I don't know exactly where all the signs that they had installed were put in. We don't have records of that. So we would have to rely on the county perhaps to let us know where signs are that would need to be replaced. And ones that are on private land, we aren't aware of those either.
Okay.
And if those need to be replaced or whatever, that would be a discussion with people.
I can tell you mine's in my basement. Matt?
But like the large road signs, like on the side of the highway and whatever, are the ones that we would need assistance with from the county.
Yeah, through the chair, if council is amenable to our ops guys taking over maintenance of the rural crime watch area signs in our right-of-ways and partnering with Volker Steven for the ones that are on provincial highways, we could roll that in. I memean, this isn't a huge sign expense, and we've got guys who chase these signs, whether they're stolen or plowed over. It could be just part of the program. So if you wanted to make a motion to that effect, you could consider that.
And to Councillor Johnson's point, there are only 6 signs in the entire county. I'm wondering if that would be something we could have a conversation, maybe increasing that exposure throughout the county. And then putting a call out to community to get involved and revitalize this. Do you have a limit on your board that you're looking for?
As far as board members go, each zone has 5. So, and then elections are held every 3 years, I believe it is. So there would be positions coming open as people step down or wish to join us. Each zone is missing roughly 1 to 2 people, depending on the zone. But the Brooks zone for sure needs 1 person. And then we would, if there's anybody that would be interested in being a member at large, I mean, we've got room for that as well.
Okay. And would you keep this office apprised of when those meetings are in our zone?
Yes.
That would be great, and then we could fan those out and get them out to community. So we have a request for the existing signs at this time. Did you want to further discuss this at this point, or do you want to take this for information and get back to these folks about sign replacements? I think it's a maintenance item, if you ask me. Councillor Baumgarten.
I'll make the motion to proceed as Matt outlined, that we could roll it into our maintenance program or sign maintenance PM and or replacement as required.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion on the motion? All in favor? Any opposed? That is carried then. Thank you so much for the work that you do, and thank you for coming in and presenting.
Thank you so much for having us today.
Safe travels.
Thank you very much. And we will, now that we've kind of opened communications with County of Newell, we will keep you as a council informed of what's happening. And if you do, or your Public Works Department has suggestions for additional signs that you would like to put up, by all means, let us know, and we can certainly do our best to accommodate it. I'm sure it would be no problem at all to, we do a casino once every year and a half, and so that provides us with some pretty good funding to work with. Yeah. Originally, our Southeastern Alberta Rural Crime Watch started in Cypress County, and then as time went by, there were some rural crime happening in the county of 40 Mile, and so we invited them to join, and they did, and they've been a very important part of our organization. And about 3 years or so ago, the Brooks Rural Crime Watch organization didn't get their paperwork in on time to to keep their status with the province as the organization up, and it was going to be an awful lot of work for them to start all over from scratch. So we invited them to join us as well, and that's how Brooks became part of and County of Newell. So right up to as far as Bazzano, as far as your whole county, and so I guess that's. Thank you again for allowing us to come and present to you, and thank you for your support. And we will certainly keep in touch with you and keep our communication lines open.
Great, thank you. Take care. Oh, Councillor Baumgarten.
Just a clarification. So you said 5 directors, and you mentioned Brooks a number of times. Is that for the County of Newell, or?
Yes, that would be for County of Newell. Like they, when we brought them on, we said County of Newell, they were called Brooks and Area Rural Crime Watch. But in our books and stuff, we're calling Zone 3 County of Newell.
Okay.
Yeah. The entire county of Newell has become part of this Southeastern Alberta Rural Crime Watch organization. Yeah.
And it would include the town of Brooks or, yeah, right.
The municipalities within as well.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Now, moving along in our agenda, I think we have a few items at the back, at the bottom of our agenda here.
9.7 functions of council.
Thank you. Are there any requests for future functions of council? Next week, a reminder, we have our ASB conference at the County of Wheatland. For some of us attending, the following week, we're in Edmonton, some of us, for the PNWER conference. Our next council meeting is the 23rd of July. 24th? It's shifted? Oh dear. Okay, good catch. That's why the arrow is drawn over there. All right. I will make that change. Seeing no hands up. Oh, yes, Councillor Scandra.
I'm not sure. Is this where I should be bringing up my application?
Yeah.
Okay.
You bet. That's a great place for it.
So RMA had put a thing out there. I've applied for it. I'm asking now for a permit, or I'm asking for your permission. I've applied to be on their committee for justice as per resolution 15-24F. They're putting together a committee to look into, jeepers, I can't even read my own writing, into challenges and crime in the rural area, which seems to kind of correspond with this. Justice and crime is something that's always been kind of right here for me, and I get really frustrated with how seems to be no bite in our justice system. So yes, I've applied for this. I haven't heard from them yet to know whether or not I'm accepted, but I'm looking for your permission to participate.
And I have a question further to that, and I honestly don't know the answer to it. What expense would that be to the County of Newell?
You know, I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm just in the very preliminary stages of it, of applying for it. I need to, once I hear back from them, more research into it, and then I can let you know.
Usually when RMA puts out committee, requests for committee members, they pay for out-of-pocket expenses, but not time. So we'll, do you know when the deadline is, Adine?
The deadline is the 31st of July.
July, okay. It would be good to know before we made a motion what this was going to cost us. Unless, questions, Councillor Johnson?
I do recall reading that it would be meetings both online or potentially in person, and that I think it wrapped up in the spring. So it's not a long commitment. So I wouldn't expect there'll be a whole lot of expense to it. And I would move to support Adina's application.
Great, thank you. And so accepting any expenditures as well would be part of that motion. And if RMA is covering, then great. Any other questions on the motion or to Adina? Councillor Scandra. All in favor of Councillor Johnson's motion? That is carried. And thank you for reading your newsletter and seeing that call to action. Okay, any other functions of council requests? Councillor Johnson?
It's not a function of council request. I wanted to add that the grazing school for women is happening on July 22nd and 23rd at Castles Hall. And it's the first time that it has been in our area in my recent recollection anyway. And I know Catherine is busy organizing it and just wanted to encourage anyone who is interested to attend.
Thank you. Slipping down to 12, we have no information items. We have CAO's strategic priorities chart. Is there anything there, Matt, that you would like to highlight?
Through the chair, no, I would not like to highlight anything there. We will have a more fulsome conversation about where we're at with those priorities. There's been progress made on some of those during our committee of the whole meeting on the 24th. So please stand by.
Okay. Very good. Any questions in the queue, Catherine? Nothing. Council, is there any reason for in-camera discussion? Seeing no hands, I will adjourn this meeting.
Thank you, Kelly.
Hey,